Right, and we are back. You are listening to the Lunch Show on SMFusion Radio. My name is Duzzy Clayton, and you are on the line via Zoom now. I have a very cool, talented musician. She goes by the name of Lily Hollows. Lily, welcome to the show, and how are you doing?
Thank you. It's so lovely to be here. I'm well, thank you, and yourself.
I'm all good. Thanks. Thanks for asking. Before we start off the interview, and this is how I've had to be starting interviews off because of what we've been going through. But how are you doing with the whole COVID-19 thing and the whole lockdown? And are you and your family safe and all that?
Yes, we've taken the necessary precautions and all the social distancing. It's been very taxing emotionally, I think, for everyone. Just being alone with your thoughts all of a sudden. But it's
Yeah,
been very good. I have a lot more time to focus on things that I usually wouldn't have time to focus on.
yeah, no, for sure. So have you been using this time to focus more on your music and that type of thing?
Ah, yes, definitely. Although I always make time for that. But just connecting with people again. People are so accessible lately. Everything is online and you can just talk to people and check in on them.
Yeah, no, for sure. Have you tried to? Okay, I know we're in level 2 now, yeah, in South Africa, so things are slowly starting to open up, and I think we will be able to start gigging soon. But have you tried the whole online streaming gigging thing yet?
I haven't, not yet, no. Although I am looking into it, but I'm not too sure. Quite an intricate thing, or at least for me. um, but I'd love to try that.
Yeah, I think well, in this day and age, it's the probably well, like I said, things are starting to open. I saw that rumors, yeah, in Johannesburg's got a gig happening this weekend, so things are slowly starting to happen. But also the whole online thing, it has its pros and its cons, but you can also reach quite a few people outside of South Africa, because it's all online. So you can have people all over the world literally looking, watching you if you wanted.
Yes, absolutely. And I think that's the beauty of it. It's so accessible all of a sudden.
Yeah, no, for sure, definitely. Right, so let's let the listeners get to know you a little bit more better. Can you tell me a little bit about yourself, your background, where you grew up, where you're from now, and how you got into music, that sort of thing?
So I grew up in England, Worcestershire, the sauce. And
I'm sorry, I thought I picked up an accent and then I didn't. So I was like, is she from South Africa or not? And then I thought, no, I'm not going to ask about that and make a fool out of myself. But I did pick up something.
yes, yes, many people say I have an accent, clearly. And I grew up in Worcestershire and it was beautiful. And then about 7 years or so, I came back. But South Africa will always be my home. I mean, I was born here. This is my country.
Okay.
And got into music. I've always been singing and dancing and putting on these little concerts for my parents, my family. And I've always had this passion, and it's something that little kids always have this thing of, oh, look at me. But I never grew out of that phase
Yeah.
of, look at me, I'm making music. What do you think? Um, Let me show you this. So I've always had this passion for music, and I think it's such a strong form of storytelling.
Yeah, no, for sure. Definitely. That's the one thing about music. Music can touch people in so many ways. And look, I used to be in a band, and I used to try and make music. I was never really good at it, but now that I get to be like a radio DJ, and I get to basically listen and play music all day, every day. It's an awesome thing to be able to be doing in this industry. Music is really a great thing.
Absolutely, it's so powerful.
Yeah. So we're going to be hearing your music in a few moments, but before we actually play your songs, we've actually played your song on the radio here on the show before. So regular listeners might recognize you when we do play it again. But for people who don't know who you are, what kind of music you make, what kind of genre of music do you play?
So it's a very eclectic sound. It's a pop kind of sound, but it's pop, but it's eclectic. It's sounds of Sabrina Carpenter, It has influences of Katie Melua. It's quite ethereal, I'd say.
Yeah. When I read your bio, your press release that was sent to me, it's also got like a bit of a grungy feel to it. You know what I mean? It's got that kind of an element also into it, which I'm a huge grunge fan myself. And I've only heard 2 of your tracks so far, but what I've heard so far, it's really, really good.
Thank you. Thank you.
Cool. So, what kind of influences did you have while you were growing up? What music? What's your taste in music, and what got you, to make that kind of genre of music now?
So growing up in the house, there'd always be some music playing, whether it's my mother who puts the radio on in the morning and it's just this lots of pop, or whether it's my father that comes home from work, there'd be always some sort of jazzy style. There'll be Aretha Franklin, Ella Fitzgerald, Michael Bublé. Oh, I love that man. Nora Jones, Jamie Cullum, Katie Melua. So it was very jazzy and quite soulful as well. Nina Simone, oh, love her. So
Yeah,
it's
she's
always
really
this very emotive music.
yeah,
And I think I was very drawn to that style of music because it was so emotive. So with this kind of more modern sound, I definitely try to hold on to the emotive.
yeah. You mentioned Katie Melua earlier on. I don't know if you've heard her rendition of Black Hole Sun from Soundgarden. The way she sang that, it's a live version, the one I've heard, but she really does have emotion in the song. You know what I mean? And it's really, really powerful the way she sings it. And I can kind of pick that up in your music too.
Thank you. Thank you. That's such a big compliment. Thank you.
Cool. So we all know that you got an awesome, beautiful voice. But do you play any other instruments?
I play piano, yes.
Okay, cool.
I've been working on guitar, although it's a little challenging um, with everything going on, but piano is my main focus.
Okay, cool. And how long have you been playing the piano for?
I started when I was 4. And that doesn't mean I was any good. It's just, it's just playing around on the piano.
The bug kind of hit you then.
Yes, yes, definitely.
Okay, well, that's really cool. And when you're writing a song, um, can you talk me through the process of writing the song? Do you put the music first and then you put lyrics, or is it the other way around, or does it not really matter? It just comes how it comes, or what's your writing process like?
So I think for me personally, I have this baseline where I'll usually just sit in front of my piano and I'll come up with a few chords and I think, okay, that sounds interesting. It sounds a bit like this, or it's leaning towards this kind of mood. Let's put these lyrics together. So usually with me, I use that very vaguely, or loosely rather. Um, I sit in front of the piano and I do the chords first and then the lyrics. However, it really depends on what kind of mood I'm going for. Um, it really depends because sometimes I'll be sitting on the bus and I'll see someone and I'll think, I wonder what's going on inside their head. And then I'll jot it down in my little red notebook and I'll write down, okay, they're probably feeling this way or that way. Oh, they have a yellow umbrella. I should write that down. That can be a theme or a symbol. And it really depends on what comes first.
Yeah. That's quite interesting the way that you've just described that. Like you actually would be sitting in a bus and like watching people and actually think of what they're trying to think of, or like pick up things like the color of their umbrella that they're holding or something like that. I've never heard of someone actually formulating a song like that. You know what I mean? So that's pretty interesting.
I think I'm a very visual person, so I love symbols and this kind of thing. And I have this notebook that I always keep with me. I have so many notebooks, but this particular one, I write all these things down. Whether it's, I think many times, this is just a random thing, but when people write, they often write about the color of the eyes. But there's so much more. It can be the smudge of makeup under their eyes, or the way their eyelashes curl, or I'm getting carried away. I love writing. It's such a passion.
That's actually really cool because you pick up on things that the probably an ordinary person wouldn't pick up on, like, you know, like curl of the eyelash. I would never like pick up on that. And then that kind of makes you write it into a song, you know, which makes it even more interesting and really more cool, I would say.
I think what's really great about music and writing is that you kind of get to be a voice for people that don't know how to put it into words.
Yeah.
So
No, I totally agree with you. And I think that's why, what do I want to say now? You know, like say a sad song, you know, you could be going through something like, let's say, like a breakup, or maybe your dog died or someone died or something like that, you know. Sorry to get all dramatic now, but like, and you don't quite know how you want to, how to express it, but you can listen to the right song. And while you're listening to the right song, you can just kind of say exactly how you're feeling, and you can be that song, you know what I mean? Because someone else has actually gone through it also and is able to interpret it more. Is that a word? You know, you interpret it better, you know what I mean?
yes,
That's
yes,
what I'm trying to say.
absolutely.
Yeah, no, for sure. So, okay, before COVID-19, and when we were actually allowed to do gigs, what was what? Talk me through a typical live gig of Lily Hollows. You know, what is a if I've never seen you, okay, I've never seen you play live, but for people who haven't seen you play live, talk us through your typical gig. What's
A
it?
typical Lily Hollows gig is very acoustic, very stripped down. It's usually in a garden somewhere, um, very rustic kind of surroundings, or a market, yes. And I'll just be there, it's myself and my little keyboard, and I'll just play a few songs.
Okay, cool. So, do you have a full band that you sometimes play with, or is it always just going to be you solo playing live?
What I've done in the past is just myself and my keyboard. Although I would love to have a live band, I think has this richness to it, which I would love to explore.
Yeah, yeah. No, I think yeah. Well, I think that's really cool, though. You know, it's something intimate also by just having a solo person, them and their guitar, them and their piano, and you know, beautiful voice singing. You know, there's something quite cool about that also. You know what I mean? But I can see what you're saying. You know, if you had a full live band, that would also be awesome.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Lots of
But
avenues to explore.
sorry.
Lots of avenues to explore.
Yeah, no, for sure, definitely. Okay, let's talk about your EP that you've released called Little Glass Girl. First of all, how do you come on that title to name your EP Little Glass Girl?
So the general concept of all the songs that I had written was about this little glass girl, and it's the particular song titled "Little Glass Girl" is about this girl, and she used to be metal, and she used to be strong, and nothing could break her. And sure, she was metal, which wasn't particularly attractive in societal eyes, but she was strong. And it's about how she changes herself into this glass doll, this glass girl. And now she thinks that she's more aesthetically pleasing to society. She thinks that she can change herself and she'll get the validation that she seeks, when in actual fact, now she's transparent.
Okay.
And I really wanted to explore what it means to be human in that regard, how we seek this validation, and we change the very parts of ourselves that make us strong. In her case, it was being metal.
Yeah, yeah. It's quite a cool story behind it, but it's also very true. You know, like people try and change your ways to fit into society, and you actually change yourself. And like deep down inside yourself, you're actually a really cool person anyway. But you know, you want to kind of change yourself to fit in. Is that what you? There's maybe the story behind it also, or am I going off path now?
No, that's spot on, absolutely spot on. We have this tendency to people please and seek this external validation.
Yeah.
But there's this quote I read a while back. I have to try and phrase it correctly now. If you live for others' validation or approval, you will die from their rejection.
Wow, that's that's pretty strong and powerful. But yeah, no, that's very true. Yeah, well, no, that's cool. So, how many songs are on the EP? Because, like I said, I've only really heard two of your songs, and the one that we're going to be playing later on in the show is going to be off the EP. But how many songs are there on the EP?
The Little Glass Girl EP has 5 songs.
5 songs. Okay, cool. All right. And uh, where is it available? Do you have actual physical CDs, or is it all online and stuff?
It's all online, but you can find it on the major music platforms, so Spotify, Google Play, Deezer, YouTube Music. I think that's a thing now as well.
Yeah.
All those platforms.
Okay, cool. We got a chat room here at SMFusion Radio that the listeners get onto, during showtime. So everyone that's in the chat room, or if you are listening to the show and you want to come join us in the chat room, you can find it on our website, smefusionradio.co.za. You can find it on the homepage, or if you type in your internet address bar, you can just type in smefusionradio.chitango.com. That will also take you to our to our chat room. And what I'm going to be doing right now at this part of the interview, I'm going to be posting a link to Lily's social media, and then also to where you can get hold of her EP and stuff. So yeah, please guys, get in the chat room and click on the links and go and support Lily. Is that the only EP that you've got out, or do you have any others out also, Lily?
That's the only EP I have out at the moment. I'm currently working on releasing another one towards the end of the year, hopefully.
Okay, no, that'll be really cool. Speaking about new music, you've just brought out a new track called Rebuild, and that's a song that we've played on the show before. Okay, this is a pre-recorded interview, so we're not too sure when this is going to air, but we played it at time of print, if you want to call it that. We played it about a week ago, or yeah, I think it was this week or last week we played it. And I must say, it's a really, really cool track. What we're going to do now, we're going to take a quick break, and we're going to listen to the track again, Rebuild, and then we'll have more with Lily Hollows after this. Right, so that was Lily Hollows, and that is a brand new track of hers called Rebuild. And we still got Lily on the line. Welcome back to the show, Lily. Let's talk about that track, Rebuild. What is it about? And what's the inspiration behind that song?
So, Rebuild is about a nation. It's about a crumbled community. It's about a broken society. And it speaks a lot to, especially Women's Month.
Yeah.
How people are tired of repeating the same rhetoric, and it's an anthem to rebuild the nation. Pick up your bricks, your stones and sticks, and we'll rebuild. It speaks to having strength in numbers and strength in unity specifically.
Yeah. No, it's a really good message behind the track, and like I said, this is a pre-recorded interview. I'm going to try and get this out on the radio before August ends, because August is Women's Month, and like you mentioned, the lyrics to the song, or the song speaks a lot, or fits in quite nicely with Women's Month. Now, speaking about all of that, you're quite involved in RADA Inspired, and we are good friends, with Tracy from RADA, and she sends us a whole bunch of press releases, and I'm also involved in Fan-Based Music Magazine, and I often share her press releases, and that's how I actually got in touch with you through them. But can you tell the listeners, because you'll be able to probably explain it better than what I do, but can you just tell us what is RADA Inspire, and how do you fit in with all of that?
So RADA Inspire is a non-profit organization that deals with these pressing social issues, whether it's homelessness, whether it's rehabilitation, whether it's addiction, whether it's abuse. It really aims to empower people who can't yet empower themselves. And it speaks to this unity and this community. And it's such a powerful organization, and I'm so thrilled to be part of it. Because just the way they go about empowering people, you can help someone, but to teach them and give them the skills and give them the tools is that much more effective.
Yeah, no, exactly. Like I said, I've been in touch with RADA Inspire and also Tracy from there, and basically they have like they take a month, and then they dub that month, like say August is Women's Month, and then they dub that month Women's Month, and then they send me a press release that of something that they're dealing with, for that month. So if there's anyone that actually wants to go read up more about them, first of all, you can go and check out their website. But if you go to fanbasemusicmag.co.za, you might have to search it because the site gets quite busy with different stories. But if you search RADA, it's RADA Inspire. If you search that, then a whole bunch of articles of the different months that I've put up press releases for them should come up, and you can go and read up on all the stuff that they actually deal with. And like Lily said, they have a lot of empowerment to certain issues, very important issues, things that we need to get behind and that we need to back. And you can go and read up all of that on fanbasemusicmag.co.za if you want to. But this month is Women's Month, and you are part of. Also, one thing that I like what RADA is doing, they releasing CDs, or releasing albums, well, if you want to call it that, called Unearthed, RADA Unearthed, and you part of the Volume 2 one. Am I right in saying that, Lily?
Yes, that's correct.
Yeah, no, for sure. So you guys must go and check that out also, because there's going to be some great music that they're going to be releasing. And obviously Lily is part of it, the RADA Unearthed Volume 2. Now, also, if you go to fanbasemusicmag.co.za, it feels like I'm plugging my own sites over here. But anyway, if you look at the video of the week, we actually made one of the videos that RADA sent us. It's called, basically the video was where RADA hosted a tea party for women of Gerald Fitzpatrick House. And I'm told, or I saw in the video, that you were also quite a big part of that. Can you tell us more about what that was all about, Lily?
Yes, that was such a lovely, lovely day. That was for Women's Month, and we went to the age home, and it was such a lovely experience just performing for the ladies. And they're so sweet and so grateful, and it was just lovely performing for people who appreciated it. And I think people need companionship. So that was great fun. I really enjoyed that.
Okay, yeah, no, that's really cool. If you guys want to go and check out the video, it's actually quite a cool video. We actually made it our video of the week on Fanbase Bank. So go and check that out also. And you can also go and see Lily was part of that over there. Now, we're going to take another quick break. I just want to play an advert over here. And this advert's going to actually fit in quite nicely with what we are talking about, because it's an advert about MiPad RADA. Basically the advert will explain it, and then we'll have more with Lily after this. Right, and we are back. We just heard an advert over there, and if you actually heard the advert, it's quite an important advert, and RADA is the main people behind it, and I think that they are doing great work. Now, we still got Lily on the line, and obviously Lily is also quite involved in RADA Inspire, sorry. And Lily, can you just talk us through that advert? Basically, it's actually quite crazy, because so many young women who have to go to school, and then when they have their monthly period, they have to actually like stay off school because they don't have the right sanitary pads and stuff like that to go through a period, you know what I mean? And it's also not only taking their power away from them, but they're missing out on quite a few days of school once, every month, literally, because they can't do that. You know what I mean? So what's your views on that?
I definitely agree. It takes away so much power and so much dignity.
Yeah,
And so many girls just can't go to school because they have their periods.
yeah,
And what I love what RADA's doing with this MyPad, it's this very cute. It's this little reusable sanitary towel that has a crazy lifespan, something like 5 years, which is your high school career,
yeah,
which is brilliant. And I think it gives girls not only the opportunity to go to school to get their education, but it restores some kind of dignity, and you just you feel empowered. And that's what it's all about. It's giving the tools to empower themselves, which
for,
I think is so important because there's this stigma around periods and around menstrual cycles. That's the same thing, but there's this stigma and this taboo, and we need to talk about it because girls are missing so much because of something that's completely natural.
yeah. Look, I think, being a guy, I would never understand what women have to go through. You know what I mean? I understand to a degree, and I know, it must be quite bad and cuck, but I would never understand how you would be feeling, and especially having to now miss school because of it, taking your power away from it. And it's always been a kind of a stigma, like you say, that you don't talk about this thing. You know what I mean? It's a private thing for a girl. And yes, it is private in a way. Yes, obviously you don't want to pry too much into what a woman's period, but like at the same time, things like this, we need to also see what we can do about it, because um, little girls, or young girls are missing out on school, and getting their power taken away. And then my wife always says, it's crazy that tampons and pads are so expensive, when a woman can't do without them. You know what I mean? You basically need it. You know what I mean? That and makeup. Okay, maybe makeup is going a bit too far, but like, if you think about a working environment, some jobs won't take you if you haven't got makeup on, and things like that. And those sort of things in the shops are very, very expensive. And tampons are very, very expensive. And if you don't have money for it, or you're on hard times, your family can't afford it, then what do you do? And that's why I like this idea that now that the MyPad, because it is reusable, it's all clean and stuff, it's all legitimate, but it like you say, it's got like a 5 year span, which is basically your schooling career, when you are starting your period and stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. And I love how RADA has this initiative to not only give back, but it's this ripple effect. Because once you have this girl and she's determined, she wants to get her education, and now she can. And just that confidence, that sheer dignity that she has that restores so many around her as well.
For sure. No, definitely. Guys, if you want to get involved, you can actually sponsor a girl, or sponsor a school, or sponsor a class, and where you can actually, I think I'm saying this correctly, where you can actually buy the product called MyPad, the reusable pad, and you can actually sponsor a girl. And if there's any other listeners that want to actually back it, what I'm going to be doing now in the chat room, I'm going to be posting contact details, who you can contact to get in touch to do that. And guys, please, if you can, just think about it. I know we have a lot of parents who listen to the show. Now think about it. If your little girl was missing out on school because of something like this, that can actually be fixed. That something like this that can actually be, sponsored, and then life can carry on. Now think of it if it was your little girl going through that, and how many, uh, an average period is about 3 to 5 days a month. If I'm correct, I'm me being a guy, I'm talking out of my brain over here, but like, yeah, but like, just think about, say 5 days a month. Now, if you are missing school 5 days a month because of something like this, something has to be done about it. So if you guys want to get involved, I am posting contact details in the chat room right now. Please do get in there, go and contact Tracy and all of them, and and then let's see what we can do to fix this problem. And when I read up on MiPad, I think it is the best solution for something like this. You know what I mean? So please, guys, let's get involved with it. Cool. Lily, we're going to have to start wrapping up soon. But thanks for joining us. Before you go, can you just tell us your social media, please?
Yes. You can find me on Instagram at Lily Hollows, on Facebook at Lily Hollows Official, and Twitter and all the others as well, which is just Twitter. That's just Twitter and TikTok. Recently joined TikTok as well.
What, again, okay, we're going to go off topic again, yeah, but what is TikTok? Because I've seen a lot, I interviewed quite a few musicians, and when I asked this part of the questions of your social media, a lot of people are saying TikTok, and I'm seeing it more and more online, but what is it? Because I've never really got into it.
It's I think it started off as this Musically app, or it started off as I think it was it started off as a Vine kind of thing, and then it developed into this very, very short, bite-sized little snippets of videos. So it's just lots of visual content.
Okay. Are you still there?
Yes, I am.
Sorry, I thought I lost you there for a second. Okay, no, yeah, cool. Well, guys, what I'm also going to be doing in the chat room right now is I'm going to be posting links to Lily's social media. So please, guys, get in the chat room. Go and check out all the links and information that I'm putting in the chat room and see how you can get involved. And go and like Lily's Facebook page or Twitter and TikTok and all of that. Go and do all of that stuff. You got to go and support. Also, go and try and find her music on all the major streaming platforms and go and support this woman. We are big fans already. Of her. I'm a big fan of her already, and I think you're going to go really, really far. So please keep it up, Lily, and and thanks again for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me.
Right, we're going to play out with your track called Don't Look Back. Before you go, can you just tell us the meaning or the inspiration behind that song and what it's all about?
So Don't Look Back is basically the song. On the surface, it looks like someone saying, "Don't look back, take my hand, let's run away together." But if you look deeper, there's this layer of she's talking to herself. And if you have a look at the music video as well, it has these elements of, there's a mirror, there are these books and the candles, and it all speaks to how she's trying to find out who she is, and she's telling herself, don't be so hard on yourself, because you're doing the best you can, and you are your harshest critic.
Okay. No, that's really, really cool. So we're going to play the track now. We're going to be ending off the interview now. Lily, once again, thanks for joining us. This is Don't Look Back. It's taken off her EP called Little Glass Girl. We spoke about that early on. And once this is played, then we'll have more with the lunch show after this. So this is Lily Hollows, Don't Look Back.